What's up, and welcome back to Cleats to Whistle podcast. I am Brad Valdez. That guy at the end over there is Kevin Watson. He's the co-host. And man, we have a special announcement, man, that we are going to be working with these cats right here, man. They have a special event coming up April 13th, man. It's the Ty Scroggins Fundraiser, scholarship fundraiser, man. We have Brian Stenham. He's a friend of the program, man. He was on there. And I will link his episode. It's a really good episode, man. I appreciate you, brother.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and then we have
Norman Elvis.
And are you family or are
yes,
you friend?
absolutely. I am. I guess a little cousin of Ty Scroggins, but we're more like brothers. I mean, he was the one that raised me, introduced me to coaching. I follow every step he actually guided me through. So college and everything else, it was, kind of his lead, and he was the big brother, and I just followed in his shadow.
There you go, man. So he was kind of like your mentor growing up.
Oh, absolutely. Outside my father and my actual brother, he was the next closest thing. He was the guy that kind of actually just took me by the hand, and when I had any questions, either coach, man, role model, mentor, he was it.
Nice. I love it, man. I love it.
Ty was everybody's big brother, man.
Well, and this is a special event, man, because I've never met him. I seen him on the sidelines. I think he came to a DOS game one night, and he was just over there, standing like he does, watching they weren't playing. I think the DeSales had a bye week or something. But man, just seeing him over there standing there, he's just scowl. They had a scowl on his face.
Big dog. He's a big dog, man.
You know what I mean?
He was the coolest guy in the building without saying a word.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's awesome. So we are here pushing this for you guys, man. Kevin, you got anything that you want to bring up or ask these guys, man, or just bring up a story about Coach, man?
Ty and I actually, didn't grow up together, but we were the same age. He went to Fairdale, I went to Dawes. So we played against each other and coached against each other for years. I was at PRP when the last game of the year, Central always wanted to lose to PRP for some weird reason. Come to find out that every time we beat them, they won the state championship. So, Ty didn't like losing, but I'm pretty sure he didn't mind trading that one loss for a state championship game every year, but Ty and I coached the D-Sales together, and we coached the D-Sales together for 1 year, and we were bus buddies. We sat on the bus. D-Sales had those Miller buses, so we rode in comfort, so us two big dudes could sit next to each other.
Absolutely.
We would tell stories, man, and Ty could tell stories, man. And he was just one of those dudes, when he talked, you listen. Because
absolutely,
he knew what he was talking about. We were talking before we come on. They won 5 state championships, lost 2. He was a legend, man. He was a legend. He was a legend before he started coaching. He was one hell of a football player at Fairdale and then U of L, right? He played at U of L. Yeah. That is what it is. Like I said, when he talked, people listened. And Ty was a great dude. I miss him. He was one of my mentors. 2 weeks before he got sick, he was over at Fairdale, and we were drawing stuff up on the board and just chopping it up, man. And, 2 weeks later, he was gone, and it was like a gut punch, man. It really was for a lot of people around here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Brian, man, go ahead and touch on a moment, man, that you'd want to share about Ty, man.
This was probably going to sting a little bit, but Ty and I started coaching at Iroquois together, believe it or not.
Wow. Every time he brings us up.
Every time. That's a good story, though, man.
It is a great story.
Not a lot of people know that Ty and I started at Iroquois. They assumed that we just started at Central, and that's where we started at. But back in '97, I believe it was, there was a playoff game at Cardinal Stadium, the old Cardinal Stadium, and nasty storm rolled through that night, and didn't know if we was going to kick off time. And team over on Crumbs Lane, what's Butler?
Yeah.
Butler.
That's it.
Is that where you went?
Yeah, that's it.
Look at that friendly little.
I just got to take it.
Why does nobody like Butler, man? I can't figure it out.
Watch your mouth, hey. Watch your mouth.
This was when it was big bad Butler.
It was pretty decent.
You didn't want nothing to do with Butler.
It was pretty decent.
And that little school on Taylor Boulevard we drew him in the first round. So Ty was like, "Shit, let's just scrap the whole defense." I looked at him and was like, "What are we gonna do?" He said, I got something for their ass.
Yeah, sounds about right.
We showed up, and it was a 5-in red defense. We played man-to-man
yeah.
across the board, and lo and behold, after the storm settled, the Butler Bears went packing over back to Crumbs Lane.
Hey.
And
The better
that's
team
where
didn't
this
win that
friendship.
night.
That's where this friendship started.
The better team didn't win that night, but
It
it's
happens.
football, right? Yeah, you got to draw it up and line it up and play.
Yeah, now I'll give you a rebuttal, though. I'll give you a rebuttal on that.
You
Now,
know, I cannot. As a grown man, it's one of those things. The better team didn't win. As a young kid that played in the game, they did not go. That actually, I felt like the game plan was to go away from me personally because I played defense, played safety, and they went every direction but where I can make a play. So you're chasing kids all around the field. Made it a little bit tough. Offensively, we played like crap. Had 6 turnovers. We lost by 6 points. I remember that because growing up, Ty and Mr. Stidham would not let me forget it. So it's one of those things that it happens. It's football.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie. That 5-in red, we ran that at some at D-Cells.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I can say for a fact that once we went to the playoffs over at Central, we played our best 11, no matter who it was, and we went just man on man and ran 5-in and 7 state championship appearances in 10 years and 5 wins. Can't complain.
yes, sir.
Speaks
Can't
for
complain.
itself.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's get into this event, man. What are you needing from like the community, from us? What could we do, and what do you need?
Well, actually, just support. It's one of those things. It's our first event to try to jump everything off, to try to actually fund the fundraiser or the scholarship fund with D-Cells as far as it being in his name. So we're putting a 7-on-7 event on in the city. So right now it's registered 10U to 18U. So we just need support. So enter a team, get on the website, get on the link. And then just register. Once we register, hopefully we get enough teams to fill it up, and we just go from there. And if you aren't affiliated with the 7-on-7 team, just get on the link, check it out. If you don't know about him, look at the bio. We have a storyline there, and then just donate. So basically, long story short, we're trying to fund the fund the scholarship that's in his name. And just try to keep that name going, keep the information going, keep the conversations going, because he means a lot to me personally, but he also meant a lot to the community and other people he knew. He affected a lot of people, and to me, he's a big freaking deal. So
you need teams, you need sponsors, you need
all the above.
If somebody just wants to donate some cash,
Yes, sir, all the above.
Okay, and do you need any assistance, as in like workers, to help you guys
Yeah,
out?
absolutely. We also going to need volunteers. So we need someone to maybe potentially run the register or concessions, or if you know a referee. If you know someone that does police or something like that, maybe run security. We need a little bit of everything. So anything in the community can help. We do have some people, but we are not turning away any volunteers or anyone that wants to help in any way, shape, form, or fashion. If it's ripping tickets and stamping hands, whatever that looks like, we need everybody.
Okay, and I think what we're gonna try to do is we're gonna try to possibly go live and do just pull up, man, give us some
Great.
money, man, and just do whatever we can for you.
Absolutely, appreciate it.
But we'll stay live on YouTube.
That'd be awesome.
So we'll just try to just keep it going for that day, man.
Absolutely, that'd be great.
Okay.
we're there. We'll be there all day.
Yeah, the big thing is try to get just to turn out in the city, right? The city has a lot of talent, and it may be hidden or it may not be a lot of exposure. And I mean, I feel like that 7-on-7 is a way just to go in spring to trying to accentuate your skills, right? If you have some stuff that you've been working on all freaking off season, and everything else, you've gotten better as a football player. Let the city see. Put everybody on notice. It's a quick way as an athlete, as a young athlete, put everyone on notice for next year coming up right now.
Absolutely.
There you go, Brian. Now, since we talked about this, man.
Take it easy on him now.
Yeah, I know. What's one thing that you want to mention about him? I know if you talked about mentors, he's a great man. But what's something that nobody knows about him that you know about him?
Oh wow.
Yeah, what
This
he
is
knows.
NC-17.
that we can talk about in front of the youth, Brian?
Let's see. Ty's a very caring man, and he always had that smile on his face, whether he was in a bad mood or a good mood. You never really got a good read on him. He had a great poker face, and if you catch him every now and then, when he turns his hat around backwards, he'll start adjusting it. He'll start adjusting it, and you can tell some agitation setting in on him. And once that hat is backwards and he's fidgeting with it, you can tell that he's okay now. It's time to get everything calm, and he's really about business then. Other than that, man, he's full-time go, fun all the time, but once he starts fidgeting with that hat, you can tell it's business.
Hey, I want to say one thing. So now I know when in that picture on the link, hey, when he got his hat backwards, man, so that means you saying he's locked in. He's ready to roll, huh?
He's focused.
And I still pay homage to him today. Wearing your hat backwards went out in the 90s, and I'm never going to let that go.
Yeah.
It's like that Sylvester Stallone movie Over the Top when he flipped his hat around backwards.
Absolutely.
There you go.
You knew you were in trouble.
There you go. And you know what I mean? With you being, family and tight with them, man.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Just because this is going to go on YouTube. It's going to go all over. It's going to Florida, Texas, Michigan. A lot of people, man, what's that one thing that you want these people to know that are watching this episode?
It's so much that it's hard to put into words. As a man, he was the man's man, if that makes any sense. He could, put in any situation, any room, and he'd adapt. But he was also humble enough, no matter what. The one thing that that sits with me the most is with all of his success, he never beat his chest, right? If you met him, you would never know that he had any championships at all or anything like that. He might have wore a ring or two, but the rest of them he put away. So he wasn't anything that, if you ever look at any interview, he never said I. He never said me. It was always we, our staff, our kids, and it was more of that than anything else. He was the guy who put the team first, in order, actually before himself. So, he got all the interviews, he got all the, accolades, which it was well deserved. But he always made sure the team and the staff didn't feel like he was bigger than us, if that makes any sense. So he was a great man in that regards. Like I said, he's a man's man. He was a leader of leaders. I mean, he was the big dog. He was one of those guys that, even though we were all dogs and all aggressive and all men, he's the leader of the pack. That's kind of how he navigated himself.
There's the alpha in the room, man. Yeah. That's good stuff, man.
And Ty was a big, imposing dude, but he was a really sweet man.
Oh, he's the big teddy bear. If you know him,
he was.
Yeah. If
you talk about the Cleveland Browns, he would tear up and get excited. And I'm a Steelers fan, so I gave him crap all the time.
Absolutely.
And he, and it was unfortunate once he passed, the Browns
got good.
started getting good. I was like, oh man,
he might have something to do with that. Yeah,
come on, Ty, quit that, man.
He's up there coaching.
Yeah, but he was always the big dog in the room. But he would always help you. Mm-hmm. He'd never not answer the phone. He would answer the phone. He would answer any questions you had. He would drop everything, come over and draw plays up. Ty, what do you think about this? He would draw it up on, and just always willing to help, and not just Central people. Not just D-Sales people, anybody.
Yeah.
Ty would help anybody. I guarantee as much beef as y'all had with Corbin and them dudes, he would drop everything and go down there and help them dudes if they asked.
That's the one thing that was really cool about it. I guess the one thing that people didn't know, he was always got asked to coach in the All-Star games and various throughout the state. So him and even I forgot the guys from Belfry, Hayward, I believe his name.
Oh yeah.
So even though that
what a rivalry,
it was a heck of a rivalry, right? As far as coaches, but those guys were really good friends.
They shake hands and love and kiss each other, tell them they love each other after the game.
Absolutely.
Man, it was great.
It was nothing but respect, right?
Absolutely.
So him, Corbin, all the other teams in the county that we played against. Yeah, I believe that we, he gained their respect as far as how we carried himself as a team. Even though the people thought one way, we actually conducted ourselves a different way.
Right.
And he gained no respect and talking football and X's and O's, if a guy's BSing or if a guy knows what he's talking about. And once you, put kind of respect on his name and whoever it is and they know what they're talking about, you're going to listen.
Well, and I always said Ty never had a problem with anybody unless they deserved it.
Oh, absolutely.
If you deserve Ty's wrath, you got it.
Yeah.
But if you didn't, Ty would be the first one to come across after a loss and shake your hand.
Oh, for
Say,
sure.
great job, you got me this time,
Yep.
but
Good
I'm
job.
coming to get you. I'm coming back.
Keep it up. Yeah.
Phenomenal, man. Phenomenal. Me not knowing him and just hearing, you know what I mean? Like everybody that's been on this podcast, I think this is like episode, I don't know, 160.
How many have mentioned his name?
And
It's
75% have mentioned Ty's name, some facet of it.
That's awesome.
And that's what's so like gets you emotional, man. It's like give you goosebumps because
Ty was the city of Louisville football for 15 years.
yeah.
Let's be honest. If you talk the city of Louisville football, you couldn't talk about it without saying the words Ty Scroggins.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. That's a testament to the kind of person he was.
Yeah.
Well, and it started with those guys over at Doss when after I graduated school, and I know he was at Iroquois at first, but he was first head coach he got his first head coaching job at Doss when I graduated, and he was like, "Hey, what are you doing?" I'm like, "Nothing. I just graduated trying to get a job." He's like, "All right, I got a job. Don't worry about it." So once I got my little job, he's like, "All right, come see me after you get off work." I'm like, "All right, what are we doing?" He said, "You coaching." And that's kind of how I started with myself. And we started, I mean, he got his staff and he brought me on as, fresh out of college. I was young and aggressive, and it kind of, he calmed me down, and it kind of went from there. So.
Love it, man.
Hey, when Big Dog asks you for a favor, you did it.
absolutely.
Love it, man. So now, you know what I mean? We talked about this phenomenal stuff that's happening April 13th, man. But let's get into you, man. You are coaching. You are still coaching.
Yeah, well, yeah, I am. So I hung it up after 2016. So I retired, called myself retiring. I quit, right? Had my sons and kind of got out of it for a while. But with my sons playing football in the youth and being around, I live over in Jeffersonville now. So I was able to, me and Coach Parker, great guy, me and him talked a few times, and he was like, "Hey, you want to coach?" I was like, "Let me see my schedule." And then it ended up working out. So I ended up coaching last year for the first time since 2016. Season didn't go like we wanted it to, but, that happens. I enjoyed it. I had a great time coaching the kids, giving back to the community and stuff like that. So it was great for me to kind of knock that rust off, and then turn over in coaching, talk to Joe. Joe's a great dude, by the way. Him and the staff, met everyone on the staff, and excited. And he's like, "Hey, you want to earn it back one more time?" I'm like, "Absolutely." So, I'm back. So I'm excited. So
There he is.
Could be another friendly face when we go up there this
yeah,
year.
exactly.
absolutely.
So yeah.
come check us out. We're
we're
working.
coming. We're coming.
We're
Yeah.
working. We got some stuff we got to do. We're working, but we're excited. I'm excited. We're excited. The kids are excited. I think we'll. I ain't gonna say nothing. We'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Okay, Brian, we're going to get into you, man, and talk about Western a little bit, man. I know you guys had a rough season. I know you guys were in your transition year. We talked about it last time on the podcast. Going through that, man, what'd you learn about yourself this year, man?
Oh man, perseverance. Sometimes you really never know how good you got it in the situation, and when you start all over again with a fresh staff and a fresh team, a fresh roster, fresh school, it is all foreign to you. No matter how much football you know, it's all foreign to you, and you got to adapt to different kids, different coaches, different everything. So going over there was different, although it's still football at the end of the day. Just learning how to coach with new guys. We had a staff. Our same staff stayed together 15 years. We had the same staff for 15 years through Dawson Central. So when you talk about I got your back, I mean, we had each other's back. And then when you venture out into the world, it's a little different when you go somewhere else.
Absolutely.
So that, I mean, Coach got his coach has a saying, and he ripped it off from the Steelers, which what I mean.
Standard is
the
the
standard.
standard.
Is the
I mean,
standard.
that's
You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's
not on the football field. That's life in general,
Yeah.
man.
yeah, period. And so with that being said, man, what did you learn about yourself this season? Coming back, man, out of retirement, what did you
What?
learn?
I'm gonna tell you the truth. What I did learn, and this is humbling as heck, is I am not that good. I can say that the success I've had before, I think a lot to do with coaching, a lot of discipline, and a lot of with the kids that we had, right? They were in the mindset they were hungry, they were aggressive, they wanted to change and had the ability to change their lives and try to do something different. But it was different. I had to adapt to the kids. I had to adapt to the environment. I had to adapt to the communication piece, right? Because I was younger then, right? I was able to speak their language a little bit more, right? So I'm not as cool as I used to be.
Oh, come on.
I'm not as cool as I used to believe it, and I'm not as cool as I used to be. But I've learned how to adapt and try to transition and try to communicate with them. One thing about coaches and any good coach is going to be able to connect with each kid individually, right? So it's one of those things that by the end of the season, I feel like I was able to communicate with the kids and actually try to get them to understand me some more and buy in. That's the biggest thing. But I think that now that those kids have seen my face one season, right? So the very next season, even though it's a new transition with Jeff as far as the coaching staff, I'm one of the guys that actually stayed, or it was the holdover, right? But those kids, I believe now, right? So when I do say something, they believe it, right? They're when I say move the first time, they want to move now. So I get a couple more kids that will potentially run through a wall for me, where before it was instantly, right? Now I have to try to build that trust to try to get those guys to do that, and we're learning. We're getting
but
there.
once they respect you,
Absolutely,
they'll do anything.
yeah, I think so.
That trust piece, once you get that trust from them, that's where you got them, and they'll, again, run through a brick wall for you.
And that's what I'm saying, because you were at Western. It's a totally different kid, totally different environment. But as in...
It is, but it's not.
Exactly. But they will try you a little more. You know what I mean?
I feel like every kid's going to try you.
Yeah.
I'm in Jeffersonville, and I have rosters look completely different but similar sometimes. Every kid will try
Yeah.
you.
Really?
Absolutely.
It's in the kids' nature. They want to see what they can get away with, and once you call them on their BS, it's like, okay, we better slow down. The kids at Western, man, they're just as hungry. They're just as involved. They're just as competitive. It's just the continuity's not there yet, and when there's multiple years, going into our second year, we've already got a bigger roster now in the weight room than we did on the football field last year. So the continuity and just the strength, and again, to his point, seeing the same faces, that makes a huge difference.
Huge difference.
It's fair to say that Western's whole issue is the numbers.
Yeah, so
you got 30 kids going against a team that has 55 or 60 kids. It's a different animal.
Yeah, and last year we didn't have a freshman class at all. There was no freshmen in the building at Western. So it's in that transition period to where they're going through the STEM program, and Western's going to be the new magnet school. So we're in that transitioning period, and it's a little different there. But again, now this year, same kids in the building, we have a bigger roster now. So we're going to make a little noise this year. We're one or two kids away from really putting it all together, and it's fun, and the kids enjoy it. So that's the big thing.
Hey, the Western's a school. You walk around, they got some dudes in that building, and they're one of those schools where you're like, why isn't this kid playing football, man? Absolutely. They just don't want to play football.
And to your point, Coach Crow, God bless him, he had an injury last year. He was retired and got the job late, and then ended up having a knee injury, so he wasn't in the building. Now he's full-time in the building, and he's just hustling to get in the kids, and the kids are just running to him like a magnet. So
you get 4 or 5 kids added to that, I mean, it makes a world of difference at that level, man. It really does.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying at Western.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? They're different because you can't get that kid to come out. You know what I mean? They're walking the hallways, man. And that's why I said it's different there at Western because you can't pull them. But I also said I just stuck my foot in my mouth, and that's everywhere. You can't.
That's true. You can walk in every school in Jefferson County, and there's 5 kids that don't play any sports, and you're like, this kid looks like an All-American. He's 6'5", 240, and he's not playing any sports. That's every school in Jefferson County.
Absolutely.
Yes. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this episode, man. I appreciate you guys. We're going to, like I said, we're going to be pushing this April 13th, 7-on-7 to Sales High School, 10 through 18U, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, $351 per team, and like an individual that just
I had somebody ask me, what's the significance of $351?
So
I know the answer, but I want to know.
All right, great question. We wanted to make the price manageable for the teams. The 51 was the number that he had in college, and the 3 was basically for the three-peat that we had between 11, 12, and 13.
Guys, I just got the cold chills, man.
So,
it's awesome.
Yeah, the 3 with 3-peat, and then because 12 ring was actually the 11 and 12 were his favorites, but the 3-peat and then the 51 was the jersey.
Well, now you got to fucking tell me why was it his favorite?
The 12?
Yeah.
That's the last one we won.
Oh, that's the last one. It's always the last one that you always got to enjoy a little more.
Hey, before we go, I told these guys I was going to do this. I want to challenge everybody that has a team. Was it 12U?
Yeah, it's like we got
12U
10.
all the way up to 18U.
We got 10. 10 to 12.
10
18.
okay,
Yes,
all the way to 18. Put a team in there. If you knew Ty Scroggins, even if you didn't know Ty, he deserves the respect for this event to be full and go on all day long and raise some money for these kids to go to college or to go to high school and get what they need.
Absolutely. I appreciate it.
Yes, gentlemen, we appreciate you guys.
Hey, man, you guys.
Hey, we'll be there. We'll be there all
the
day.
new friend of the pod, man.
Absolutely.
So
Thank you. I appreciate
anything
it.
you need, man, you guys call over and
Appreciate
Jeff.
you guys.
Hassan's a good dude, man. So he's
Let's go.
Yeah, he's a good dude. We're gonna be out there to Jeff.
Yeah,
It's
you're
gonna be
getting
exciting.
you're getting a
time.
good one over there.
I can't wait. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
man.
excited. I really am.
Yeah, man. Like I always say, everyone has a story.
We're
here for them to tell it. Cleats to Whistle podcast.